It's a crackhead. There we go. Software just kicked in. Good night. All right. So we up now. Sorry about the confusion. A lot of things went down on this app. Uh, it had two of them running for some reason, and I guess they were canceling out each other. But either way, we're back. Welcome to Straight Facts, No Chaser. F your feelings. This is Mr. Straight Facts. This week, it's just early in the week, but man, today some things happened that I focused on. One was the president coming back to the Capitol. I don't know what you guys feel about that. I mean, the ex-president. Sorry, I messed up there. I glitched the glitchology. The ex-president coming back. One of the things that really threw me about that, to be quite honest, is I don't understand how anybody, let's just say, for instance, you try to break into my house and we find out it's you and you were a family friend. I'm not welcoming you back into my house. That's some of the weirdest things I ever heard. Welcome somebody back into your house who broke into your house. That doesn't happen. And for some reason, that's happening with the Republican Party. They're allowing somebody who broke into their house, didn't care if they were unalived, didn't care if they got hurt, didn't care if these nut jobs came in there and hung them from the rafters. Didn't care. They were calling him, asking him for help. And he was like, well, do what I asked you and basically I'll help. And the whole thing lasted for 7 hours. From beginning to they got everybody out of there. 7 hours. Wow. And you welcome them in and you clap for them. I have never in my life heard of somebody clapping for somebody who almost got you unalived. But I look at things, man, through the scope of Republicans have a plan. We just don't know it. And throughout this show, I think I found some clues as to what they really want. And it's not what most of us even think. I believe this is my theory. This is not fact. This is my theory, because factually, I can't figure out for the life of me why a party would give itself fully into this nut job. I mean, the man rambles and rambles and rambles incoherently. Sharks and batteries, electrocution, MIT. What is this man going to do for you? Tell you stories? Snakes. He had one of the snakes I did about that. I'm like, this dude is quoting a black poem about snakes when he's the snake. And they're clapping. It's insane, y'all. Let me get to some of y'all real quick before some of these things actually show, some of these things don't. It's on a delay, so please bear with me. See some of you guys' statements. What's up, Tommy B? How you doing, brother? Has no business being there, none at all. Chances of Angle says actually paying for his crimes. I don't know, Fractured Gamer. It's horrific to think that somebody can be in a position of power that try to destroy something. Then, before he even became a person empowered by our government, this man was grabbing women by the you-know-whats, and they tried to say that was locker room talk. I grew up in locker rooms. Most boys did, and girls too, but I'm talking about boys to men. We never spoke like that. And the thing that's so crazy about it, what's been developed lately, is that locker room talk crap was Melania's idea, and they ran with it. It's crazy, yo. And it worked. I guess she figured women would accept it. That guys do this. They think so low of men that they thought, yeah, that's the way men talking about in a locker room. No, it's not. Most of the time, we're talking about the game we just won or lost. Strategies to be able to win the next game, or just straight out frustration about losing this game. Nothing else. We ain't thinking about any assault of women. It's just a horrific ideology to put on men, that we're in a locker room discussing disgusting things like that. And America believing it. It's insane. Go brought me here. Hey, Benny, what's happening? Thank you. I appreciate it for bringing her here. Or him or her. I can't see Benny and Diane. At least one of them's a her. So I think. I'm not sure. Don't want to disrespect anybody. What's up, Georgia girl? He does love the poorly uneducated. You know what I'm saying? The poorly educated. But let's see what else somebody said here. But in the background, working in the house. All right, Five Frost. Don't hurt yourself. Stay focused. Is it true that he can't use the title anymore as a felon? Shouldn't he be Mr. Trump? Oh, yeah, he can't. Well, I don't know about the felon part, not using it after you become a felon. You can't use the president. But like I said, I made a mistake by calling him. That was a slip. I don't call him president, nothing. Christ was certain. I don't think. Look, when people ask me that question, no disrespect to you, because I know you really want to ask that question, and there's nothing wrong with it. But in the media, I find it very disheartening that they run with that. A lot of things in the media I can't stand that they run with. They always give things the possibility, the air of possibility. One of the things that I've learned, whether you are a Christian or a non-believer or a person who believes in karma, once you put things out there, you give it life. And when we start saying things like, could he possibly not go to jail? He's not going to jail. You're giving that life. You're letting that into the atmosphere and letting that be a reality. We should be saying he should be going to jail. He should serve time. Put that in there instead of giving these people these ideas of, oh, maybe not. Why? Because that energy actually goes. If the government and the people felt that America and the world thought he should serve time, we would be putting pressure on these legal people that they can't come out there without a verdict of some jail sentence. When we're all in this doubt thing, then it's kind of wishy-washy. One of the things I also have been paying attention and being aware of society and how Democrats think and how Republican thinks, independents and all that, is that as we've known lately, Republicans will lie about anything, but not only lie about it, but push the narrative and don't care about who gets harmed with it, as long as it benefits them. And by saying like they want everything to kind of like basically go away, trying to make it seem like it's against the fabric of what America's about and all this other bullshit that they try and push out there to get you to go the opposite direction of what America should be going. As Democrats or independents or liberals, we're always trying to be fair, even to the stupid, even to the evil. We're still trying to be fair. And so people always are asking, or trying to lean toward the insane and stupid, like, give them a break. They've been whitewashed. No, they're stupid. They're just crazy people. And I ain't talking about like insane, like going to a insane asylum type of thing. I'm just saying they don't care about logic or reasoning. It's all about their feelings. So I hate putting that out there. And I know people ask that question because society, America has continually been behind that thought process of, the rich not being held accountable. We just saw him get held accountable. Let's keep saying that they should be. Let's force that into the psyche of America. And every time somebody says that question, it's like, yes, he's going to jail. Yes, he's going to jail. So if we're wrong, we're wrong. But the reality is that we should be saying what we exactly want to happen. Therefore, that energy can be a force in America. Republicans do that all the time. How do you think they've turned all these lies into facts for these people? They've lied and lied again. They told people what they've wanted, and people who believe that follow. That's why you have Democrats worrying about, these MAGAs doing what they did on January 6th again. I'm like, they don't have any fear of Democrats or independents holding the country accountable. But we should be fighting for this country just as hard as they are fighting to destroy it. We should be putting fear in their hearts like they're trying to put fear in ours. We are the majority. They are the minority. These small amount of insane people, evil people, should not be pushing us into a corner. It should be the other way around. We should be knocking the bully square in his nose, getting in their faces and said, it's against the law. We should be putting some of these Republicans who were in on January 6th, they should already be in court. They should already be facing time. These people on the phone with them, Mark Meadows, Jim Jordan, Mike Johnson, they should be facing court right now. They should be going to jail right now for what they did. And we keep on the news media acting like, well, when are they going to? No, what the hell you mean when? Start putting pressure on those who are supposed to do their damn job and force them in that direction. We're so quick to say to people, hey, this company didn't do what we suggested, or this company is against gay people, or this company is against black people, this company's, for whatever, against Christianity and stuff like that. And we do everything we can to try and get them either closed down or make people stop going there in order to force them to do whatever it is that they should be doing. And that means whatever is right by the people. So the people who are sitting here watching these people tear down your country, it's time to fight. It's time to get in front of a camera every time and tell them Donald Trump should be in jail. He should be in jail. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yes, he should be in jail. That's my answer. He should go to jail. If Michael Cohen went to jail with 8 counts, Donald Trump should go 4 times longer than he did. He went for 3 years. Donald Trump should be in jail for 12 years. That's my point. I don't care what people say. No man or woman, no matter how much money you got, is above the law and shouldn't be. And we need to stop letting that into the atmosphere that it's okay for rich people to get away with it. They can pay their own way out. The America that's majority of us are not millionaires and billionaires. It is about time we round those people up who are breaking the law and say, you need to go to jail for it. To hell with paying it off. Genius with a G. Yeah. So that's the way I feel about it. 100%. He needs to be in jail. And I don't think he should be getting all these opportunities to do whatever he's doing. I know our system allows you to be able to, appeal. And I truly believe in that 100%. Get their appeal and all that. But if the majority of the people are on appeal, or trying to get an appeal, are at home, fine. Maybe with an ankle bracelet, fine. I'm fine with that. But if the majority of people who are doing what he's doing, or did what he did and found guilty of what he did, are behind bars during their appeal, he should be too. That's just point blank, period. That is point blank, period. And that's the part that's been bothering me, is that in this society, we keep on giving these rich people chances over and over again. Middle class, poor, white, black, Latin, Asian, no matter what, you would be in jail right now. You would be in jail right now. And everybody's trying to figure out, where would Secret Service go? Just like guards, they'd be right outside the door. Nobody's saying they want him to go to jail to get harmed. They're going to still protect him. He's still going to have like a cherished little life there, but he won't be able to have the freedoms. And that's what jail is all about, taking away your freedoms. It's not about torture. It's about taking away your freedoms, because you had your freedom and you chose to do something to take it away. If Michael Cohen can man up and do his time, Trump's supposed to be this super strong guy. He should be able to man up and do his. But instead, he's trying to tear down the fabric of America. And what's so crazy is that somehow the fabric of America is so weak. What trips me out when you hear these reporters and some of these lawyers, I'm like, is America that fragile? I don't believe so. Let this be a black man. His ass would have been in jail. Let it be a Latin man, still in jail. Let it be a poor white man. You would be in jail. And they're out here talking about it's unfair. There are more than 2 tiers, to let you know, of justice. Way more. Black people are treated differently than any other race. Latin people are treated worse, but not worse than black people. They get treated worse than races like Asian and white in the legal system. Those are 2 different types of justices right there. Then you got white people who get treated better than any other race. But if you're poor and white, you're treated worse than a middle-class person in white. And if you're rich and white, you get treated way differently, as we can see with Donald Trump. So when you talk about 2-tier justice system and they're going after him, bullshit. Y'all know it's bullshit. I don't know why anybody entertains that shit. I don't know why the media even says, well, this is what he says. The hell with what he says. This is what it is. I don't understand why we don't say to Fox and OAN and all those people, find out who who's advertising on their particular platforms and just stop buying those products. There is no way America, we should be supporting people who support liars that are trying unpatriotic. They're trying to destroy America. I have no problem with Republicans who have a different ideology about how things should work that they believe will work, which I know doesn't work because it's never working in the history of politics. But it's their belief. But you can tell they have no core fiber of any kind of like real like business. Like they don't have anything. It's a big fat fucking hole. You know why? Because they never have anything to grab onto. Ask a Republican, what is their platform for the people? What's your platform for the people right now? They have none. You know how I know they don't have none? You know I bring receipts. That's why I know why they don't have any platform. And we're going to switch over. Your boy's learning this stuff right here, so hold me down for a second. I'm going to switch over. Donald Trump came to the Capitol. They went in and spoke and so forth. And when they came out, one of the people who spoke, and she exposed what they kind of like talked about, trying to, motivate the people like, this is what we're going to do for you guys, America. After meeting with him, we're 100% behind one another, and we're going to do this for America. Like the dumbass WWF or something like that, the dumbass version. She's all amped about it. And then she comes out and tells you the platform, so to speak, of what they're going to do for the American people. Summarize, bullet points, because that's all they got. They never have a plan. They always have bullet points that makes you feel giddy, I guess, for these Republicans. But let's go ahead and listen to what she had to offer. This is insane, but we're going to let you listen to it. It's on her.
Thank you for being here this morning. We just concluded a very successful special political conference with our special guest, President Donald J. Trump. He was warmly welcomed by the House Republican Conference. We are 100% unified behind his candidacy and are ready to get to work on behalf of the American people to secure the border.
Stop right there. Stop right there. She said, secure the border. Didn't the Republicans and Democrats work together? And the Republicans got most of what they want to govern. You have 2 parties that don't get everything they want, but they have things that they know they can't do without, and they want like those 2 or 3. And the Democrats get their 2 or 3 or whatever it may be. And then we have consensus. Everybody doesn't get what they want, but everybody gets something. That's how you govern. And they did that, which shocked the hell out of me. They were able to accomplish that. Republicans were behind it. Democrats were behind it. Hell, Mitch McConnell was behind it. And then Donald Trump reaches out and says, hey, I don't have nothing to run on if you take care of the biggest problem that I've been bitching and moaning about. What am I going to say at these rallies? If they're taking care of the border, I have nothing else to talk about. Y'all got to put the kibosh on that. Then the people who were for it, all of a sudden, are against it. And she wants to talk about border. You don't have control of this border situation. You lost it when your own Republicans, one of the most conservative Republicans in Washington, in government, was running out on every Fox, OAN, every station he could to say, the Republicans ain't telling y'all the truth. This shit is good for us. Everything we wanted is there. Virtually everything Republicans have been asking for is there. What else they gonna get? And then they took a gamble. I gotta tell you something about that taking that gamble. They're gambling on the fact that the House and the Senate is going to be won by Republicans. Because if it's not, and it's won by Democrats, which is more than likely because that's usually the ebb and flow, then none of the shit you almost got is going to happen. So it's a lose-lose for you to turn it down, not a lose-win. Because even if, heaven forbid, I don't even want to say it, even if the orange dude gets close to, let's say he wins, you don't have the House and the Senate to get anything done. So you lost anyway. It makes no sense. So to say that you care about that issue is ridiculous. And this same party said they put all these, and it's sad, but this is how politics is, no matter who it is. They brought out these victims and families of victims of immigrants. They've been doing that for the past 2 years, 2 or 3 years or so, maybe more. Talking about, these people lost their family. All these people coming over the border. There's so much crime going up and up and up. Crime is actually going down, but that's okay. But they try to put all the crime on these immigrants. Immigrants don't commit as much crime as the average person in America. Way less than, to be honest. But I digress. They pull out the ones who did do crimes and the ones who did some serious horrendous stuff, no matter whether they just came over the border or they've been over the border 30 years ago. Didn't matter. They were immigrant over the border. Picked them out of nowhere, families, and went out there on this a grievance tour. I feel sorry for this person. Of course we feel sorry for that person. But what are you doing? You're telling us all this crime is happening and these people whom are sad and everything like that and saying crime is rising. And then when you get a chance to fix it, you pass on it. You get everything you want, basically. And liberals are pissed at that particular program, but they still are going to pass it because they need to do something. And you pass on it? That tells us that you didn't care if there's going to be 6 or 7 months, however distance it was, from the time they turned that down to the time they elect and somebody gets back into office. All those people you touted around about their families dying by immigrants and that more people are going to die. You just said F them. Let them die, Trump's saying. Think about what this actually means. The subtext of what he's saying. Let these people die. Let it get worse. Let them die. I need to run on this. Keep it going. And then you want to go and tell everybody you want to save them. But how can you save them when you're literally trying to make worse things happen for people's families who are sitting here right now begging and screaming because you got them all hyped up and scared and fearful. And then when the solution comes, you pass on it. And just like always, they sit around and lie and push it on other people. Go around every news station and say some of the most egregious things about the people who are actually trying to solve it. You ask them, what is your solution? What about the bill you didn't like? Excuse me. And none of them are going around saying, we don't like this part, we don't like this part, we don't like this part. No. We're just going to save you. How? Republicans never have a responsibility as to how they do something. They just go out and say, we're going to do whatever they hear people at their rallies say. What do you want done? 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 And whatever the census is, we're going to do that, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do that. How? Never an answer. We're just going to give you what you bitch and moan about. But how are you going to do it? Never an answer. And these Republicans and MAGAs just sit around not learning anything, just hearing what they want to hear and doing what they're being told to do. And they want to go out and call people sheep. I'm like, dude, a sheep goes around in sheep's clothing. These fools during his trial, leaders. How are you a leader when you're following somebody? Not one of these fools was independent during this Trump's trial. They came out wearing his outfit, wearing the dipshit gear. I'm like, why are you dressed like him? You're a leader. It's supposed to be like a leader for your state. You dress like this Nimrod. Makes no sense. She says she don't care what he's done. No. And again, they're 100%, she says, behind him. I don't really believe it, but again, you can't believe a word that comes out of their mouth. Now, that's just one of the plans that she said. Just one. The border. And we already know that's a big goose egg because they had a chance and they chose not to. I was speaking to somebody today. They said all they're going to do is wait for, if Trump wins, implement the plan that the Democrats had on the table. But they can't because the Democrats are going to say, I don't want it. Because some of the things in it we didn't like. Then blame the Democrats that they didn't get something done. It's cyclical. Do we want to solve a problem or do we want to continue being in the problem? Goes again with what I'm going to tell you later, my hypothesis of why this cycle continues. This cycle continues with the Republicans and in politics, period. But there's a reason why I believe it's happening. And I'll get to that near the end. All right. So we're going to continue down this path of what she was saying. We're going to continue down this path.
Unleash American energy independence.
Unleash American energy independence. Another goose egg. Do you guys know, and maybe many of you do, Biden has produced for them, they always drill, baby, drill. Biden has produced more oil than Trump, Obama, and I believe Bush combined. I know Trump and Obama. Their idea of energy, drill, baby, drill. Biden has already done that. Biden has produced more than Trump and Obama. So where do you go from already being great at it? And you may not know the other aspect to this, how brilliant, not only, see, I don't always give credit to we have to give credit to the president because that's the president that's doing it, but I give credit to the team you surround yourself with. You guys notice that the team that Biden pretty much started with, he's still with 4 years later. Trump was firing people every other week. I hire the best people. Really? Then why they keep leaving you? We've had the same people in the positions, majority of leadership positions under Biden. None of them have come out and complained about Biden and quit like they couldn't stand him. None of the drama every day. Y'all don't remember. See, a lot of people forget. Maybe you do remember, but most people forget. When you get a Democrat and everything's calm, you get complacent, you do whatever, and some people continue to fight. But then all of a sudden, a Republican comes in and just starts tearing shit apart. And now you got to pay attention to these people every other hour because they're doing something stupid every 10 minutes. And you guys sit there and look at it like, what the? I can't have a moment's peace. I got kids or grandkids or a girlfriend or a wife to pay attention to. And we always in front of the damn TV screen or whatever, computer screen, watching this Nimrod do something stupid. And we got to sit here and pay attention because it's going to mess with our economy. So our family's got to figure out how we're going to feed each other when this idiot does this, this, and this. How are we going to save better? Or is the economy going to crash because of this, this, and this? And then when mostly the Democrat comes in, we on autopilot. We ain't worried about our money falling apart. We ain't worried about him doing either one of them. Any one of the Democratic presidents, whether they're going to be doing something so stupid that's going to mess up the economy. They care about their legacy. It's just insane. But that's 0 for 2. They don't own the energy space. They've never been good at it. They don't own the border. Still not good at it. They've already passed on it. So that's 0 for 2 that she said they're going to come out and do for the people. So nothing. So basically you just said you're doing nothing for the people so far. Let's keep moving to the next one.
Bring back peace through strength.
Peace through strength. Who was at peace when that Nimrod was in office? Every day you couldn't go without hearing something about him doing something stupid. Whether it's going to another part of the country, representing America, and pushing people out the way so he can get a photo op. Shooting rubber bullets and smoke and all kinds of shit at American citizens and telling the military, telling the head of the military, can't you just shoot him in the leg? With real bullets. Just so he can go in front of a church. Lord knows why. What happened to that photo? I mean, like, you did all that so you can go put an upside down photo like you go to church. You're Satan. You don't go to church. I would ask somebody to literally ask him in front of him, because they've asked him about which book of the Bible he likes. This fool don't know. Which version of the Bible you like. I don't know. Ask him to spell church. He will mess that shit up. I bet you he'll spell it with an I. And we'll be standing right in front of the word. But they don't own that either. So they 0 for 3. So you just went and had a meeting with Donald Trump, your leader that you're 100% behind, and you came out with 3 things you're going to do for the people so far. And all of those, Biden is either doing better than you either turn stuff down, or you've never, ever led in that. How do we have peace when Donald Trump was where he was at as president? We didn't. I didn't have a moment's peace. And around the world, people were laughing at us as America. They were laughing at him. But we ended up electing him. The world was wondering, like, what the hell is going on with America? That they would literally put somebody in office that was stupid. You don't think they didn't know this dude was stupid? Come on. They had to sit down with dinner with this dude and listen to him ramble. The idea that he went into a room by himself without any Secret Service or anything like that to speak to Putin while Putin had his people in the room, this Nimrod talking about snakes and all this other crap that he talks about, Lord knows what he was talking about when he was in that room by himself. Our secrets being in his hands, he can't keep a secret. The moment they gave him a secret and those 2 Russian dudes came into his particular office, this fool released our secrets to him. And what did the Republicans do? He has a right to declassify him right on the spot. No, he don't. They protected him, and he continues to mess up. And they keep protecting him. It's crazy. It really is. Green Tech, yeah. Selling us out. Yeah, she auditioning for VP. The being big oil. I mean, Biden is doing better. And when I say better, he's producing more. What Biden did with the oil companies, and again, the green agenda, people were fighting for that, are mad about it. I get it. I do. But what he did was, and this strategy, like I said, with the people that worked for him, the people he had hired for him, and his team, along with Biden, pulled off some amazing stuff. OPEC was literally overcharging. It was gouging us, like a lot of the businesses were gouging us. If you haven't checked, a lot of these businesses have been lowering things. They could have lowered them a long time ago. They just were able to gouge us without getting in trouble. So the government talks to them a little bit, and they, we can bring it down now. No, you could have brought it down a long time ago, and you didn't even have to bring it up as high as you did. But they don't care. But getting back to him being able to get to OPEC and say, he went to OPEC, to Saudi Arabia, and said, when he met with all these oil people, and said basically lower the prices. And what do you think they did to the president? Heritage Group, right? They said no. And he was like, oh, okay. This is the same group that did a lot what Trump asked him to do, because they let him get away over there in Saudi Arabia. They let them get away with killing an American citizen. I think it's Khashoggi. I may be messing his name up, but you know what I'm talking about. Just saw this man up, and Trump did nothing. An American citizen, even though he was a dual citizen, is still an American citizen. Paid taxes here and everything. And they did nothing. They ended up giving his son, Jared Kushner, son-in-law, $2 billion or something like that. But no, he's not crooked Republicans. But what Biden did is he came back to America and got with his team and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start producing oil, like really a lot. Millions and millions of barrels of oil. Just get to producing. They produce a crap ton, millions of barrels of oil. And guess what they did? They put it into the market and charged less. They started buying from us instead of buying from OPEC. They started buying from us. We became one of the leaders in selling oil in this country within a very short time. They had to listen to us at that point. You think Donald Trump would have thought of that strategy? And not only Donald Trump, his team of people that he would have had around him. You think they would have thought of something like that? Hell no. So by doing that, bringing the prices down, that's why your gases are lower now. Your gas prices are lower now. They may not be exactly where you want them to be, but they're lower. Because he pulled that strategy on OPEC, so they had to bring their prices down. He showed them through strength. You tell us no, and look what America will do. We'll figure it out without you. We don't need you. We are including you. That's power. That's strength. Donald Trump would have simped all the way. What do you want? You want me to do that? Oh, my people have to pay more? Okay, fine, okay. What do I get? Nothing? Okay, nothing's fine. I don't know why people think he's strong. He's stupid. Ain't no strength in stupidity. He may have some evil parts. Not may. He's evil. But strong, no. Bully, but strong, no. Bullies are people who are scared and always got to be defensive. Can't deal with their own feelings. They get hurt easily. They're a bunch of punks, to be honest. That's all they are. Once you punch them in the nose, they fall apart. Nobody in the Republican Party will punch him in the nose. So they're a bunch of you-know-whats. They're a bunch of what he grabbed. And no disrespect to women, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to do that all the time, but you get my point. Because that thing is not weak. That's the strongest thing known to man, but known to human. But still, you get my point. But so let's continue on with what she had to say. I'm going to keep it up here.
Stand up for election integrity.
Stand up for election integrity. Trump's people, he hired. His name was Matt something. I can't remember his last name, but Matt. You can look him up. He was the head of the election voting, and I think it was technology. Said it was the most secure election we've ever had. And when he lost, all of a sudden, it's the worst. There's something wrong. There's nothing wrong with the election process. We've had people cheat since the beginning of time. Of course, people voted twice, stuff like that. But do you understand the people who've cheated the most in election fraud are Republicans? Are Republicans. And it's never enough to move the needle for any election. So when they talk about, oh, there's election fraud, of course there's election fraud. There's always election fraud because we have idiots out there trying to get one party to win by voting twice, moving to certain areas and voting in two different locations. We get that. But it's never like millions. It is literally like 30, 100 at the most. They can't move an election. But they want to tell you, oh, there's election integrity issues, so you want to get the 100 that does it all the time? Those are the Republicans getting put in jail for that. You know, it's probably like 5 or 6 Democrats. The rest of them Republicans. It's insane. Go do the research. You'll see how very small it is and how the majority of them are Republicans that do it. It's almost like they create an issue on their own. Go out there and cheat and make it an election issue. And then I'll say that people cheated. But then that person goes to jail. Well, I pay them money. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that's what it seems like, because it's like it's very few, and you guys are making a little issue gigantic for your own benefit. Devious. But election integrity. They're 0 for 4 for what they came out of this meeting. None of these things they're leading in, none of these things, some of them ain't even an issue. It's something they made up. They had 60 plus cases, and they lost 60 cases on election fraud. So the very first guy that was in the Trump administration that said this was the most secure election in American history was right. It was proven through courts. And they come up with some of the most weirdest explanations. This one lady, I forgot who it was. She was a Republican. And she said that the ones that were in that case of the 60 cases, they were that way because there was small technicalities, like they filled out the forms wrong. And I'm like, so you're trying to tell me that Donald Trump, Mr. Sue him forever and a day, didn't retry these cases just because his lawyer checked the wrong box or something? Come on, man. Nobody that's stupid except for Republicans. Who's stupid to believe that Donald Trump, if he wanted to become president again, that he wouldn't go out there and change the paperwork and come back into court? And if you go out there and look, you can totally find Rudy Giuliani and another lawyer. I'm trying to remember the other lawyer's name. Both of which, when they were in two different trials out of the 61, there was, I think it was 61, that were they sued for, in both cases, in court, this is not an election fraud case. Then what the hell is it? That's all you've been bitching and moaning about, election fraud. So in court, they had to tell the truth. But still lost their licenses because they brought a case that they knew was fraudulent. And lawyers aren't supposed to do that. But they did it anyway. 60 times. It's like, what do you get out of destroying your own life? Rudy's like $100-something million in debt that he have to give the two ladies that he lied on, losing everything that he owns, out here trying to hawk vitamin pills, knowing he don't take them because you can just look at him. Ain't nothing healthy about him. Getting all kinds of, he got so many police cases, so many cases for fraud and different things like that, and lost his license. What did you get out of this, bruh? You sold your soul down the river to be in all this hell. I don't know about you. If somebody put me through this, there's no way in hell that we would still be friends. I wouldn't vote for you to be a dog catcher, let alone president. Hell, the next time I see you, I just might sock you in the throat. There's no way in hell you're going to put me through that hell and then try to be my friend and ask, could you vote for me? Hell no. I'm about to go to jail for you. I didn't benefit out of this at all. You know why? Because you never paid me as a lawyer. And seeing as how I've been in all this hell for you, you won't even pay my lawyer bills. It's insane. It is insane, people. I don't get how people do this. Again, you have to have something on somebody. Some evidence of something on somebody. For them to forego their entire life, yo. This is your life. And there's one person who's destroying it that you're next to and you don't care. What is that? I mean, I'm seriously asking people, is there anybody in your life that you would do that for? And for me, it is only my son and daughter. I'll protect him at all costs. Just like with Biden, I give Biden credit, yo. Biden's a better man than me. My son in the federal case, the hell with y'all. I'm like, yo, this is never really brought often, right? I said, nah, okay. Well, son, are you guilty? Yeah, Dad, I'm guilty. You guilty of the other one? Yeah, Dad, I'm guilty. All right, cool. I pardon him. Let's get this shit over with real quick. Light work. Next. I don't care if you hate me. That's my baby. I don't care how old he is. That's my baby. You ain't taking my baby nowhere. That's why I say he better than me, because he is paying attention to the law. I still would have paid attention to the law because legally I can do what I did. Now, if I broke the law, I'll be sitting there trying to get the case thrown out. No, you guilty, fool. You got to add for that guilt. Go get that guilt. Then I'm pardoning the hell out of you because you're my baby. Most humans would do that shit. I don't see how he does it, but he has a higher fiber of being than I am. And I applaud it. I don't hate him for it. I'm not mad at him for it. I mean, part of that, wish I could have some of that. And I consider myself a good person, but that's a hard one. Because when you raise your own kids, woo. Yeah, that's a hard one. But now, if I could pardon, but if I couldn't, he'd have to go to jail. But it's crazy how that works. But let's go ahead and continue down this path of listening to Sir or Madam Idjit.
And defeat this illegal weaponization of the justice system. It was a unifying event, and I'm grateful to the president for answering questions from our colleagues today.
Okay. This lady is definitely, and let's just change this over real quick. This lady is definitely insane. And I'm not gonna lie, she got some major issues in her life, because there's absolutely no way that she's talking about that they're gonna talk about the weaponization of our legal system. It's not weaponized. How does it weaponize? Joe Biden's son just got convicted, and his dad said he's not gonna pardon him. This man is the closest in that situation to Jesus that I'll never become. I just wouldn't. I know I'm biased for my babies. That's all to it. If I had a choice, I said, okay, I'll do the time. They can leave. I get it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I would be. And to look at that, it's like, that's how a president should be. He should be better than me. He should be better than me. He should not be the same as me. He should be better. Should be smarter and better. Something to look up to and say, wow, wish I had that in me, but I don't. I am better than Trump by far. You are better than Trump by far. Why would you want somebody lesser than you? To me, it's like, look, would I go get, and no disrespect to this, but would you go get a homeless person to be your president? Let's say a homeless person that just won the lottery. Now he's rich. Would you want him to be your president? Hell no, you wouldn't. You would not. But they got the equivalent of that. And they're like, oh, yay. He grabs people by the vagina. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, I want him. I want that guy. Really? And I was listening to someone talk the other day about the weakness in the Republican Party. One of the things that I had to think about for a second, somebody said this, and trust me, I hadn't even thought of this. And I think a lot about different things, but I even heard a girl from Reed on the readout I just heard her say it too. That's what reminded me of it. Is that, don't they understand that if they chose anybody but Trump, that Republicans would still vote for the Republican and not the Democrat? Those 70 million would vote for a Republican. You don't need to have Trump in office. You just need a Republican. Now, I wouldn't think they vote for a woman because they don't give people of color and women any kind of love. They want to make y'all go back to the kitchen. So being a Republican and female is just a ploy, as far as like in power positions, a ploy. Being a Republican and black in that party, a ploy. Being any other color than white in the Republican Party is a ploy. You're just there as window dressing. You don't have power, nor will you ever. They use you guys because they believe man first, woman second. Don't believe me? Go look it up. They just had, like, what was it? I was just talking about it in one of my videos where they was at this Republican convention. And I keep forgetting his name, but there's a black guy who used to be, it always comes to me later, but black guy who used to be in a sports show. And he literally said he doesn't care about what people think. He liked it back like before, like women's suffrage. So he liked it back in the 20s and stuff before women got a chance to vote. That's what he wants to go back to. Somebody will give me his name. Not Tim Scott. Let me go ahead and look it up because I totally, not Royce White. I thought people had looked at my video. My bad. Nah, look at it right there. Who did somebody else say it right now? Not Byron Donald. I went off on Byron Donald. It's a black guy. He was on Radio C here. I'll get it just a second. So you can go and check it out. I want to make sure. I got my own video. Anyway, I'll get back to it. I don't want to slow everything down, but it's a black Jason Whitlock. Thank you, Errol Palmer. Errol Palmer. Thank you. I appreciate you. Jason Whitlock. I always forget that guy's name, but I see his face, and I know he's from Indiana, and so am I originally. And it pisses me off. That dude is a Hoosier. It pisses me off something royally. But you're right. Jason Whitlock at Nimrod said that he appreciate like the women's suffrage era, like before the women could vote, because they had one person that could vote for the household, the man. But he said household. He's trying to stifle even his own kids if they were 18 and over. If it was a boy or girl, doesn't matter, as long as they're under his roof. The wife, the grandmother, whomever may live with them. One man would make the vote. Not listening to the family, just listening to the man make the decision for the family. That's where we used to be. And he likes that. I don't understand that, ladies and gentlemen. Not at all. Full of cholesterol, lunar love. Love it, love it, love it. So when he decided to say something crazy like that, I realized the Republican Party is going way back into the Stone Ages. And what gets me is that these people of color, the Byron Donalds, the Jason Whitlocks, all the other, like Hodge twins and Candace Owens, and I forgot the other guy, Robert White, all these black people that are falling for that okie doke. This is the trajectory of what's happening. They're making, and they're getting black people to do it and people of color to do it, which is horrific. Because to me, it says these dudes, women have no fucking clue of history. They know the whitewash part of history. And whatever these people are telling them, they're believing it. They're all lost in the sauce. They told white women that they weren't going to take their rights away. Therefore, they got Trump in the office, and then all of a sudden got the 3 Republican justices and conservative justices, and then their rights were taken away. They're telling now, they're saying to like women, you were better when you were in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant. And men were the only ones who voted. And men used to build skyscrapers and fall to their death, and we sacrificed for the women. I'm like, I was about to say the N-word, but I say, man, are you nuts? So that is the ideology. So they don't realize they're selling their souls. Because if we go back to women's suffrage, do you know what was going on in the 20s for black people? Turning the clock back. Right? So once they get that passed, they're going to try and go back to black people getting the right to vote. Don't believe me? Any of you guys heard of there's a fund that black women literally started because they saw the gap in which women were getting less than 1%. They were getting like 0.22% at one point. It went up to, I think, 0.34. The Fearless Fund. Somebody may have told me already, but the Fearless Fund, that's what it is. If you haven't heard of the Fearless Fund, the guy Edward Bloom, who got rid of affirmative action for colleges alongside a few Asian people, and that kind of split the Asian community because some of them were pissed off about it and the other ones were all happy about it. But the ones who were pissed off about it knew that you're rolling back their rights, because affirmative action not only helped black people, it helped white women, it helped Latin people, it helped Asian people. The reason why Asian people have a higher percentage in these schools now is because some of them got there through affirmative action and their intellect. But the higher percentages comes from that. And eventually, it's not going to happen now, but as these things start to get torn away, and you start to see, after affirmative action is gone, the numbers have risen for Asian people. The numbers have risen for black people. Give it 5 years. They don't do it immediately because they got to get the proof that it works. 5 years from now, there will be a slight decrease, not slight, a major decrease in how many Asian people are getting into Harvard, how many black people are getting into Harvard, because now it's legal for me to do. But if it happened immediately, that ain't gonna work. They're gonna try and change it. But if it shows that the numbers go up, I guarantee you go look at the numbers now. After that has happened, the numbers of Asian people have gone up. The number of black people have gone up getting into these particular colleges that they were fighting for, because it has to be proven that it would work. But it's only so they can get access 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road to see a slight decrease, which proves, it's just that you guys weren't that smart to begin with. Just is what it is. We fought it and it's legal. What are you going to do? It's set in stone now. Reversing everything that people who fought for civil rights died for. And using minorities to go against one another. It is the oldest trick in the book in white America. Use the racists against each other. And I don't mean racist, races. And if you don't believe that, look at what Edward Bloom did. He tried this exact same thing with affirmative action with a white girl and lost because they're like, wait, a white girl didn't get into school? Dude, you mean to tell me that this school's got 7% white people and just one white girl didn't get in and black kids got in? That there's a big, please. Nope, we pass. He had to go find a minority to go against minority. He learned the strategy. So once he got done with that, he totally went after the Fearless Fund. And he just won that case by using a case from like a law in the 1800s or whatever it is, that we can have freedom. The same law that says racist white people can't discriminate against black people, they have to give us opportunities, they used and said black people can't give opportunities just to black people. That's unfair. While at the same time, the reason why this was even created is because black women were getting less than a 1%, 0.34, 0.38% of the funding, where black women were getting that amount. White women get way over that. In 2019, white women were getting 2.2%, still drastically low, seeing as how white men get 85 to 92%. Yet that's not something they fight to stop. You go after the minority who's trying to get an opportunity, and don't go after the white people who are trying to not give anybody else but white men opportunity. It's insane. And the courts, the Supreme Court, conservative, overturned it. Now the Fearless Fund can't give the money to the black women whom they got this money from, billionaires and millionaires, white people who they had to go tell them and say, hey, look, you guys are giving less than 1%. At the time, I think it was 0.2 something percent to black women. I know they have good businesses. You guys just don't believe in them. Just give us a chance and we'll show you. So they were like the test of this whole thing. And they started giving these women money, and so many millions over the years. And they had a tremendous return. So these black women were doing excellent. Were getting these loans and these investments. They were grants. These grants were only like $20,000. But they was helping all these businesses that it amounted to millions. And once they started being successful, because these white VC firms weren't giving them money, they proved the white VC firms wrong. And then all of a sudden, Edward Bloom comes in here and cuts the legs out from under it, because they don't want to put an economic foundation under black women. It's insane how this country works. And it's insane that you can get black people to literally try to roll back the blood, sweat, and tears of people who fought so that women, black people, Latin people, Asian people can have an opportunity in this country, because the only enemy we all have are racist white men. They're the only one, rich racist white men. Those are the ones that don't like none of us. And we are the majority, and we're fighting amongst ourselves while they're robbing us. And it's so sad how we can be tricked to hate one another and love to be rich, want to be up there one day, so I look up to them while they're over here pissing on us. It's insane. We need a new class of rich people to give a fuck about all people. That's a family member right there. They wanted me to answer the phone in the middle of a live. But yeah, it's just insane, people. It's just insane. Now, I'm going to go ahead and break down this other one that we have for you of what happened when Donald Trump was in that room talking to these Republicans. He talked mess about one of our cities, big cities within the state of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. And once he came out, these Republicans were like, oh, he didn't say this, he didn't say that, but he did. He did. And it was reported on live while somebody was in the room. This Punch Bowl, I think, media were in the room, and they reported it when it happened. And these Republicans were saying, oh, it didn't happen. Or they got it from a Republican, I think directly the Republican that was in the room. But you're gonna read this. Let's see if I got it set up real quick. I don't. There we go. I got it now. This is it right here. Trump refers to Milwaukee as horrible just before the city hosts the Republican convention. Now, you can see this guy, Scott Bauer, wrote it. It says, former President Donald Trump used the word horrible in talking about Milwaukee, the city where he will accept the Republican nomination next month, during a closed-door meeting Thursday with GOP congressmen, according to several people in the room who spoke afterward. The comment first reported by Punchbowl News. So the people in the room actually spoke to Punchbowl News. While the meeting was in progress, immediately drew disagreements from those there about what Trump meant. Several congressmen who support Trump and attended the meeting argued he was referring to crime and voter fraud. Trump frequently denounces Democrat-led cities as unsafe, even as violent crime decreased nationally in the most recent FBI statistics, and repeat falsehoods about his loss in 2020. Now, in this situation, this man talks crap about Milwaukee, a state that, or a city at least, that he needs, or actually the state, Wisconsin, but the biggest city in the state is Milwaukee, that he needs to even have a pathway to presidency. And he talks crap about him. So they immediately come out and denounce it, but then they try to finagle it. He's talking about crime, and he's talking about, what did they say? He's talking about crime and voter fraud. There was no voter fraud. And crime has been the same, but it's gone down. So you have to understand something. I did a video, and this is something that a lot of people don't know about. I did a video on about what Republicans do, the strategies that they have. They have a lot of behind-the-scenes strategies that over time have been released, but have been kind of buried and not talked about by historians and anything that much at all. You don't really find this video and these different audios of what Republicans and what strategies they created, even back when Reagan and Nixon and things of that nature. And those things that they were talking about back then go into play with what Donald Trump is doing. Donald Trump and his team, when they try to cover it, they talk about Milwaukee basically being a shithole city. And who does he say that about? Black people. A big percentage of Milwaukee is black folk. So it's coded language. You automatically mention crime and voter fraud. Out of the states that they said committed voter fraud are majority voting are black. So they try to discredit black cities, black states, majority black cities and black states. And there's a reason for that. They're not trying to disenfranchise white voters' votes. But people say, oh, but there are white people who live in those states too, so it can't be racism. No. Racist, empowered, don't care about powerless white people. You are a sacrifice to them. As long as it hurts more black people than it does white, it's fine. It is fine. And these are not just my words. These are their words, not mine. And I want to show that to you because, you know, I want to be straight factual with you. I don't want you thinking I'm lying to you. I want you to hear it out of the horse's mouth, not mine. I ain't got nothing to do with it. So we're going to listen to it. Bring the receipts on them.
Here's how I would approach that issue as a statistician or a political scientist, or no, as a psychologist, which I'm not, is how abstract you handle the race thing. In other words, you start out, now y'all aren't quoting me on this. You start out in 1954 by saying by 1968 you can't say that.
The beep, 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 beep is the N-word. But you notice something here? You got Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, and this racist speaking, Lee Atwater. And he's telling you about the Southern strategy. Abstract words. You can't say N-word, N-word, N-word. That's what the beep, beep, beep. You can't say N-word, N-word, N-word by a certain time in history. You can't say that anymore. So you have to shift it. So when they start saying other words, which you'll hear in a second, those words mean N-word, N-word, N-word. That's what they mean. Whenever you mention these things, and I'm sure some of you have said these things before in your life, not knowing that you were literally repeating N-word, N-word, N-word. Let's listen. And I'm going to start this one. I think I started back over.
Hurts your backfire, so you say.
Now, we were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule. There's shit.
You You start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger. That hurts you, backfire. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff.
States' rights.
And you're getting so abstract now. You're talking about cutting taxes, and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things. And the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. And subconsciously, maybe that is part of it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if it is getting that abstract and that coded, that we're doing away with the racial problem one way or the other.
Okay. So, let me get back to that picture real quick. That Lee Atwater is the same guy that hung out with Donald Trump, hung out with Roger Stone, hung out with Paul Manafort. They're all in that same group. And we can all agree that this man, when he just espoused, because this same guy was with Reagan, this same guy was with Nixon. This same guy, the racist, telling you his Southern strategy. That's what it was, a Southern strategy. Your girlfriend's coming home. The Southern strategy, come on in, just close the door, that they had was what he just did. He just said that what's going to happen is when these people come, and try to bring in somebody into office, we're going to go to the basically moving from in the 50s to calling them the N-word to saying things like forced busing, which means the N-word. Same thing. Many people said that when I was going to school, forced busing. Those were the issues in which they knew were going to hurt black people more than it hurts white people. So that's what the whole structure was all about. If you listen to what he said, there's no issue that hasn't been about race. They just changed the terms. Now, my question is, how many white people knew that these issues that they were bringing up were fake issues? They were just issues of how can we hurt black people more than we hurt white people? See how it means sometimes white people don't even know they're doing racist stuff is because the racist, powerful racist, form things so that they can say the N-word but get you confused about what they actually are. While they're laughing that they got you to do a racist deed based off an issue that doesn't exist, but something they made up and got you all in a tizzy about. What do you think the border's about? Do you really think that it's so many people coming over here that somehow America's just going to fall apart? No, they don't like the browning of America. They don't. They do studies on when white people will become the minority in America if we keep letting people of color in. And that study says something like 2054, 55 or something like that. So they're putting a strategy in place to lessen brown people in America. You don't hear them talking about people coming from Europe, coming here, we don't need them. There's criminals in Europe too. There's criminals in every country that brings people into our country. Japan, Russia. But they don't talk about them. When you guys hear immigrants coming into our country, taking our jobs, you think of Latin people. You think of Mexican people. You think of African people. Think of Indian people. You don't think of white people. You don't think of Asian people. You don't think about none of them. You might think of Asian, but mostly you're thinking of black and brown. Brown and black, put it in a different direction because there's more brown coming in. And they know those numbers are dramatically growing faster. The Latin population has passed the black population or come close to passing it. And they're afraid, they say, oh my God, the minorities are growing dramatically. And the amount of investments into each individual culture, black people still are at the bottom, even though we fought and died for equality. everybody else has benefited from our leaders' blood, sweat, and tears. And when black people bitch and moan about it's not happening for us, oh, you get over it. But why are we getting over it? But we fought for you. We could have been over it if they had just given us this opportunity and didn't give you any unless you fought for it. But no, we fought for it and you took part in it. If you didn't take part in it and it was just for black people who fought for it the most, then we'd probably be equal by now. But no, everybody got a slice. But they didn't all fight. And you really haven't heard any black people pissed off about that. Even when we fought, we had no problem sharing with those who didn't fight with us, who didn't lose a single life with us. It's insane. Yeah, Japanese, Native American, all that. But they don't think about these people mostly. Native Americans are already here. I mean, where are they coming from other than here? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about them being like real. They're not immigrants. They've been here. But that was the point, to be able to show you that these people were all together. Racists flocked together. And people want to say, oh, he's not racist. Yes, he is. How many times does a racist have to do a racist deed? I really want to ask white people this. If you know racist or you know of racism. How many times does a white person has to do a racist act before they become a racist person? Because from what I've seen over the years and the questions that I ask, because I'm inquisitive, every time I ask a white person who's done something racist, like right in front of me, and I say, did you know you was a racist? What are you talking about? You just did a racist thing. Oh, I'm not racist. I'm saying, so how many times I got to catch you doing that before I can actually legitimately call you a racist? It's crazy how they get to determine their own ills. When people are outside looking in, like, yeah, that dude racist. He went on a whole rant. That's some racist shit right there. You address him, clutch the pearls. I'm like, dude, you just went on a racist rant. When is the barometer? When does that barometer reach from like racist, curious racist, possible racist, curious racist, full on racist? When does it happen? Because there's never an answer for that. But there's always an answer, I'm not. So if you're not, then determine the people who are. Point me out one that you would consider to be racist. And what did they do to clarify that in your brain? Then ask yourself, have you ever did what they just did? And if you did, that classifies you as a racist, correct? Exactly. But nobody does that homework. Well, I ain't gonna say nobody. There's been some few people that I've seen that have literally done that and have contacted me and said thank you, or had told me that they went through that whole process and they appreciate what I'm doing. But that's the point I always ask the people the question. A huge chunk of this country is Mexico. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right? Who was that? Tracy Hogan. For real. Thank you. That's one of my members. I appreciate you. So I always ask that question. I mean, answer these questions because it's always escaping the issue. And I don't do it to like make fun of people or get mad at them. I just want people to face things so that we can get over things. Every person I know that said they used to be a racist, it had to be like this moment where they met themselves and didn't like themselves and realized they had to work on themselves. And they know, just like a drug addict or whatever it may be, alcoholic, every day is a new day to prove to yourself that you can change. Because it just doesn't go, you can't be a racist your entire life and tell me racism just disappeared overnight. You spent your entire life exercising racism. And just because you decided to get rid of the N-word doesn't mean you got rid of all the other idioms that you've been doing your entire life that equate to it. It's a lifelong process. Just like anything else. Being overweight, it's a lifelong process. Even if you defeat it, you know it can always go back if you get off track. Hardcore racist, covert, overt. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, to me, it's like, come on. We know that people have racist ideologies. Admit them and get over them. Or admit them and stay one of them. But don't get your clutching your pearls if somebody calls you one. You know you're one. Accept it. Walk into it. And you're going to have repercussions for it. Yes, you will. Just like anybody else does. It is what it is. There's freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean it's freedom of consequences. You can say, like, bomb on a plane. Go ahead. But you're going to have a consequence. You can say fire in a theater. Go ahead. The consequence, you're either getting arrested or kicked out. It's going to happen every time. You just can't say things and not expect to get it back. And I think far too many people in this country think that they can do whatever they want without any kind of repercussions. So I want you guys to hear what the strategy that I was telling about earlier. I got an epiphany of what Republicans are really about after listening to a clip from Lawrence O'Donnell last night, which made me go back and get the video and watch the entire clip, entire segment. But I'm not going to play the entire segment. I'm going to play like a minute and a half of it. And I want you to listen to this, and then I'm going to come back, because this is near the end, come back with my theory that I told you guys from the very beginning. I have a theory of what Republicans, the party, has always been about that we haven't seen. Just like they had the coded words with Lee Atwater, the N-word means all these abstract words and terms. Talking about crime and voter fraud is the new N-word. That's exactly what that is. It is exactly what Lee Atwater, whom you see here, was with all of these people who know that strategy. Lee Atwater was the master behind this strategy, this Southern strategy. He taught it to each one of these guys. They use it all the time. They come up with buzzwords which mean N-word. Telling somebody they're woke, N-word. Why do you ask them? When you ask them, what does woke mean to you? They have no answer, because it means the N-word. And they have not come up with a valid reason of why they call it the woke. And they got people out here who say they're liberals, Bill Maher, saying them and not realizing he's saying N-word, N-word every time he says woke in the way that they're talking about. Tired of these woke people. So you tired of N-words? I never said that. Of course you did. Because you don't understand. You always play like he's smart. Either he doesn't understand what woke means, or he does understand and he's still using it. It's one or the other, and neither is good. You just heard Lee Atwater, these guys' friend and like trainer, literally say in the 50s they said N-word, N-word. It couldn't do that more in the 60s. Then it was all about busing. Then it was all about, other political terms that they use. Now it's all about woke. It's all about voter fraud. And it's all about crime. All three of those, when they are mentioning those things, it is N-word, N-word, N-word. Because they don't care about none of those things. They have no plan to solve them or fix them whatsoever. No strategy, nothing. If you cared about something, you'd have a strategy for it. The Republicans only have a strategy of giving rich people money back. They care about that, so they have a strategy and a plan for that. They care about taking women's rights away from them. They actually have a structured plan for that. Look at Project 2025. Everything in that like 900 whatever page process, all of that are plans, and all of them are horrific for Americans and taking rights away. That's the playbook. That hateful piece of project that they got, papers that they have, white papers, whatever, Project 2025. There's no other plan. No structure. The things they call people, literally, you'll see, whenever they bring up these buzzwords, they're talking about black folk. Crime. What's the first thing you think of when you think of crime? Violence. Society has built it into everybody's brain, even black people. Crime equals black. even though white people commit more crimes in America than anybody else by numbers. I know people say, oh, by percentages. No. If 5 million bodies are dead every year by white people and 3 million are dead by black people, I don't give a shit about the percentages. How many dead bodies are gone? 2 million more. I give a shit about percentages. I lost my mom. I don't care about I didn't. Sorry, but take that back. If I lost a family member, I ain't thinking about it could have been a black person, white person. I lost them. This should not be a wedge issue about who kills who or what percentage does what. We want less crime from everybody. But we can't work on that when you're pointing fingers over there. It's the black people. No, it's the white people. No, it's the Latin people. No, it's you bad motherfuckers and all people. How many of you guys know that crime in America, less than 3%, or not less than, 3%, less than 4%, 3% to 3.5% of white people will ever commit a crime. Same amount for black people, 3.5 to 4% in that range will ever commit a crime. The two groups that always fighting at each other. You take it down to like Asian and Latin, same, about 3%, a little bit less. I think there's like 2.8 to 3.2, something like that. And then you got Asian who go down to like 1 point something. But when you're talking about the biggest like hater, they hate black people, white people always got everybody hating on us, they commit more crimes. But we all commit 3 to 3.5 crimes, black and white. But yet, black people are considered crime. And they know it because they planned it. So crime equals black. Voter fraud equals black. Not black, but N-word. Why? Because every state that they went to say that there was some problem with the voting was black-led, Democratic-led. Some of them were Republican-led, but it still had a lot of black people in that particular state. And they went to those people and said, they're the ones who did something wrong. That's how Rudy Giuliani got in trouble. They put it all on black people. So these buzzwords mean N-word. And if you're out there saying them, amongst them, that's what it means. And this is what I try to tell people who don't understand what black people have to go through. We are busting our ass just like everybody else to get ahead. There are poor people in every nationality and race. But tell me, poor people of other races, tell me where they have a plan, not a plan, but where they have buzzwords for you. There's no buzzwords for poor white people. They're attached to black people. Welfare, more white people on that. But that buzzword, welfare, belongs to black people. Tell me how, when by the millions, white people are on welfare more than black, but yet when you mention welfare, it's a buzzword for N-word. The shit we go through is not even always visible. And it's not always painted as racist. But it is. And people, I'm not racist. Well, you're hollering racist terminologies at us that sound like welfare. It's just like we need to get off our... No. Quit attaching it to black folk. If you want to attach it to the majority of people on it, you need to attach it to white folks. If you're constantly being attacked, even when you're not even doing anything against anybody, it is amazing why black people do not hate all white people. It's amazing. Tell me, anybody out there that's white, if every day black people had a plot to destroy everything about you, to label you all something, every last one of you, no matter if you're it or not, you're criminals, you're rapists, all of y'all, pedophiles, all of y'all. We come up with buzzwords to talk. You would go bananas. You know why I know? Because when Donald Trump was in office and they told you guys you had to wear a mask, you see how many white people flipped the hell out like they told them they was going back to slavery and white people were going to be the slave this time? These people were flipping out over a mask. Falling on the ground in stores. Tearing down shelves in grocery stores. Destroying them. Because they were asked to wear a mask. It's insane. I applaud my brothers and sisters out there because every last one of us should be just pissed off every day of our lives. But we are good people. And we keep showing up and showing out every day, doing our best in a society that not only is racist to us in our faces, they create buzzwords to fuck with us too. It's insane. Can't expect us to always be good in the midst of something like that. But we do it. And I'm proud of us for doing so, how strong we are. I'm going to play you this video of Lawrence O'Donnell, what he said and what I got out of it. This is the video he had. Let's see if I can get it from the start. I think I did. All right, let's go. Let's see if I got it. Where we at? Lawrence O'Donnell. Boo, boo, boo. Is it there?
Any sense at all for Republican businessmen to vote Republican was back when they all really were men, no women allowed, in the 1920s, back when the stock market crashed in 1929 under Republican President Herbert Hoover, and then the country sank into the deepest depression it has ever suffered. There wasn't a single Republican politician who had any idea what to do about that. Then came Democratic President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, elected in 1932 in the depths of the Depression, and that Democratic president created the policies that saved the American economy. If your business survived the Depression, it was because of the policies of the Democratic President Franklin Roosevelt. Those policies helped your business survive the Depression. Franklin Delano Roosevelt held the banking system together by himself in the first days of his presidency, when the entire American banking system was on the verge of collapse, the whole thing. What did Republican businessmen do? They opposed President Roosevelt. They have never known what is good for them. And what is good for them is a Democratic presidency that knows how to get things done to help their businesses keep running. The economy does better under Democratic presidents. That is a simple fact of American economic history. But Republican businessmen remain the dominant voice in American media. And it is a voice that is almost always wrong.
Okay. Now, if you listen to that and got what he was saying, he was literally talking about always back even to the, like the 20s and so forth. Republicans have always, as far as leadership, I can say always, but the majority of time leadership since that time have done worse under Republican leadership. Americans have done worse under Republican leadership. Their strategy has been pretty much the same. Give tax cuts, do things of that nature, the same strategy, the same playbook, and our economy hurts because of it. Then a Democrat leader, he's talking about FDR, comes in and changes the whole thing, comes in automatically with a plan and works it out, and the economy starts booming. And then another, like I say, Republican president comes in, we start going down. Democrat come in, we start going up. And you start to look. I had done my own research, but I hadn't gone back as much as he had. And that's why I was watching it. And I was like, oh, man, I didn't know that far back because I hadn't researched that. I was researching in my lifetime. And I realized that, as far as when you go to like Reagan, you know what I mean? You go with like the Bush Senior. You got Bush Jr. also. You got Obama. You got Trump. I missed somebody in there, Nixon. Then you have Biden. Out of those individuals, I think there's 4 Republicans and 3 Democrats in the last 7 presidents. Out of all of them, the most tragic times we've had in our economy has been through a Republican leadership. They've taken a good economy and destroyed it. Taken a good economy and destroyed it. Take a thriving economy and destroyed it. Some of those people, it really wasn't like 100% their faults as far as like the things that happened. But what they did, their strategy to those things happening was 100% their fault. For instance, Bush Jr. It wasn't his fault that 9/11 happened. But his response to it, all their fault. Weapons of mass destruction that never materialized. They just lied to get into war. Many lives later, billions of dollars later, not trillion. And then you get Obama to come in with shit just falling the fuck apart. It's like buying a house is just like a money pit. You walk in and shit just falling, the sky's falling into the house, and you sitting there like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? Like Kevin Hart's like, look at this. Can y'all look at this? That's what they did to the economy. The Republicans destroyed it. Banks falling apart, housing falling apart. Why did that happen? Greed. People selling people homes that they know they cannot afford. Falls apart. Obama comes in, trajectory is like insane. We don't went from here, we're going like that. Trump comes in, it continues to go like that. No policies that he actually put in helped the economy at that point. Then 2019 comes, boom, we get COVID. That's not his fault we got COVID. His fault is how he handled it. This man told everybody it was the flu. It's just like the flu, no big deal. Until he had an interview behind closed doors being recorded, no video, just audio. And this man said from day one, he knew that this shit was worse than the flu. He was saying the flu is like less than 1%. This shit's a fiver, he says at first. It's like 5%. The flu is like 0.3 something or whatever. It's not even a percent. So this man is saying it's like 5,000 times worse or more than the flu, but he's out there telling everybody it's the flu, basically, because he didn't want them to panic. You don't have to have them panic to just have them unify. We're going to fight this. He should have made COVID the enemy, as if it had attacked us like some other foreign country. We have got to defeat it. To save lives, we all need to wear masks. It's patriotic to do so. No, split the country in half over stupid shit. Millions of us die. At least 1 million in America. And everybody's split over a mask. People talking about, people who are dying are just fat. That's all. They're just big people. They're out of shape. No, people in shape were dying, fool. You're just on the wrong side of history. They're going after Dr. Fauci. Do you know the history of this man? What would be his reason to try and destroy America at the end of his freaking career? This is the man that helped us fight AIDS. If you remember that, if you're old enough to be as old as I am, I'm 53. This is the man who helped us fucking defeat AIDS. People were dropping like flies. All the stereotypical racist crap that was going out. People having sex with monkeys, all this stuff. They were out there busting their butt, figuring this shit out for us. This man is a fucking hero. And this idiot that we had as president tried to destroy this man's life over idiocy. They know this man did a great job. They just don't want to take responsibility. They're lying on him so that they don't have to take responsibility for their idiocy. And the Americans who went along with that shit, I just don't quite understand how you can literally deny science when your family members have died of cancer, of AIDS, and all these different things. And this man has been on the forefront of science, and you treat him like you treat him. It's just insane to me, the disrespect of a lifelong scientist, lauded all over the world. And Americans are stupid enough to think what Donald Trump says about him. A man who can't even probably spell his own fucking name. That's why it's all garbled and shit. I guarantee you don't know how to spell this shit. It's insane. Have a scientist like that, Dr. Birx. It behooves me. You listen to people taking horse pills. It worked. Ah, just insane. Just insane. How do you know it worked? How is it just that you didn't just have a good enough genes that it passed through you? You thought taking a horse pill actually worked. Why other people died taking it? It makes no sense. But then when I saw that video, y'all, I started to have an epiphany as to why Republicans consistently do everything against what is logical. See, Lawrence O'Donnell was logical. He's saying, wait a minute, you guys make a crap ton of money under a Democratic president. Why would you want to go against your own best interest to vote for a Republican? You did worse under the Republicans. And that's been going on since the 1920s. So why would you be voting that instead of your best interest? And I had to think about it for a hot second. And I realized they are doing it for their best interest. We just don't know what their interests are. So you have to really go into the economy to understand. Like I told y'all before, Republicans care about making money. For them, it is power over people. Power comes along with money and prestige over people. Now, I'm not saying Democrats don't think about those things either, but they actually create plans that incorporate the people. But Republicans don't. So you say, wait a minute. They care about money. They care about power. Right? They're greedy. So if they're making more money under the Democrats, then they would want Democrats in office because that's how they make all their money. But see, here's what you miss when it gets to politics or to economics. They make their money from Democrats because they can count on Democrats. Republicans are greedy, so what would a greedy person do? If you think greedy, quit thinking like I care about America. Quit thinking about, get rid of all the stuff that we've been made to believe about either Republicans or any good people. Think medieval. Take away all the I care about people. And take away all those things. All that minutia, caring about people, love. All you think about, money, power, money, power, money, power. What would a person with money, power on his or her mind think about? Not you. You're just the people. You ain't power. I get your money. That's what empowers me. So how do I make money and I care about money? Then you start to think about how the economy works. Under Republicans, they do the same thing. So that means there's a strategy to it. And if it was hurting their pocketbooks, they ain't doing it. Not at all. But what they're doing is they're setting up America for failure on purpose. Their strategy is to destroy America's economy, not to build it. 100% destroy it. As much as they can, not too bad. They ain't trying to no return, none of that. But bring it to the brink of collapse. And how do you think you do that? Now, I know some people are like, that's crazy. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. No, you would. Why would you do it? That means there's more money in your pocket. You say, how is that? That's losing money, Drew. It is. But when you're a gambler, you lose to win. And how do you do that? They get in, Republicans. They give money away. Same strategy. Give you your money back. What can they count on with Americans? You're going to spend more than you make. So they're going to give you this small amount of money where they get billions and millions away. get back. They're going to take that money and buy back stock, create more money for themselves, buy stuff overseas, whatever, buy properties, done deal. They're set. They ain't worried about that. You're the one, right, that's going to get this $1,200, $3,000, whatever it may be, and you're going to go out and buy shit that you really can't afford. They're counting on you to do that. Most Americans do because you don't know anything about financial literacy. You just get money and buy. That's their strategy. You're going to get money in and buy. Their idea of doing top-down economics is supposed to be they give the money to the rich, and somehow that's going to trickle down to you. They know that's not the case. That's just the strategy. They're going to take that money and do exactly what they do it every time because there's no regulations. That's why they don't like regulations. So you go out and buy, what's going to happen? You can't really afford the shit you buy. You just got a lump sum of money at once and you went out and did some shit. Either got a car, bought a house you probably can't afford. They're counting on you to do that, right? While they're in office, they'll do all these different things, like I'm telling you, to continually like make you feel like you got money and success is happening to you. So now you're caught up in believing that you're doing pretty good under a Republican leadership, but they know you're not. It's a facade. You believe you are. All that shit's going to come crashing down. And what happens when all of it comes crashing down? They buy back your shit cheaper. They go on a shopping spree, buying things low and selling things high. Now, when is it going to get high again? They can count on Democrats getting into office and bringing the economy up. Republicans make their most money, like he said, under Democrats, and they know that. That's why when they destroy it and make you go broke, now they can buy your property, now they can buy your business and sell it back to you in a booming economy. Republicans are devious, and all they care about is money. And if you look at their strategy and you listen to what O'Donnell, he was saying and what I have been saying, it didn't snap for me until I saw Lawrence O'Donnell say that. And I was like, holy shit. They're playing the game on both sides of the fence. Their job is to destroy, make everything worse. And then Republicans come and Democrats come in. They know that Democrats are going to do right by America, and they're going to come in and buy shit up because you're going to fail during the process of what they're doing. Because top down has never worked. They know it hasn't worked. But here's the thing. It hasn't worked for you. It always works for them. 100%. Because they are in to destroy the country economically. Democrats are in to build it. It is just an ebb and flow. And if you look at the charts, you'll see every time a Republican comes in, the economy goes down. By the time their term is over, the economy went like this. Democrat comes in, and when that happens, buy low, sell high. When the economy's down, they're buying your shit. When it goes high, they're reselling it back to you. That was my idea when I first heard that. I was like, yesterday, last night, and I was making a video about it. I said, I'll just do it live. But I said I was going to ask economists to actually chime in on it. Because to me, I realized that's how stock market works. That's how the economy works. But it's hard to believe that Republicans will continue doing the same things, implementing the same plans, and saying they're doing right by people. I think we have it twisted. Republicans never want to do right by you. They want to do right by them. 100%. That's what I've been seeing. I don't know exactly. Like I'm gonna keep watching that because I looked at the research back until Reagan. I didn't go to Jimmy Carter, but he took it back all the way down to FDR and the president prior to that, HW. So I could probably go back even further. I did look back in the day, like to find out was there ever a president that ever it got rid of the deficit, and there was one, and it was a liberal. president. I can't remember the name of that person right now. I'll look it up next time, so I'll bring it back to you live. But yeah, it's only one in history of America having presidents. Have we ever got rid of the budget? And back then, I think it was 800,000 or less or something like that the country was in debt, and they paid it off and had a surplus by the end. As far as like now we're in like trillions, and Trump brought it up to 7 trillion more by himself. But we had went to zero, or actually a surplus, back in those days. So it's crazy. If you go back and look at historic stuff, it's insane. And the rep said we didn't need enough on the military. On a human level, it's so depressing. It can be very depressing. The thing is that I think Americans, we need to let our politicians know we see them. I see what y'all doing. I see exactly what you're doing. It took forever for to be able to see it. But we got a demand of Republicans. Asked them, I said, so why are you guys on purpose destroying the country? Because they can't deny that every time they come in, they do the same strategy and it never works. It only benefits the rich. And most of the time when they do something for the people, it's something that's forced. Something that a liberal or a moderate had to force them to do for the people. Or back in the day, when they were only doing things for white people, they had no problem creating plans, long as black and others in the country couldn't partake, like housing. They didn't have a problem with that. But once people of color got involved in that, then they had a problem. I want you to check out these things that I've been saying on your own. Don't take my words fully for them, because I know I've done my homework. And some of these are hypotheses that, as far as finding out what the Republicans are doing, I just look at their strategy. But check everything else, because I love people to know the facts. You can always bring them to me. I ain't got a problem with it. I don't get pissed off if I get something wrong. I get excited because that means I learned something new. This is all about growing smarter together, unifying the country. It's not about like me or you. It's a we thing. It's we. I always say to people, it's like when I think about politics, I'm sick of both Republicans and Democrats, in the sense that not that they're the same. Don't even get that twisted. It's the fact that I get sick of Democrats not fighting harder against Republicans and always seeming helpless when Republicans are out there doing like gerrymandering and things of that nature that even some of the Democrat Party does too, which to me is in redlining and stuff like that. I'm like, look, we need to get rid of things like that in my mind, because I'm sick and tired that if you lose a race, you should not be able to go and fix that race by moving people in a certain area and saying, oh, this is my constituency now. No, your constituency should stay the fucking same. We mark up the country wherever it is and leave it be. How the hell are you going to keep moving shit around? That means you're trying to rig the race. And I don't see how that's legal. It's insane to let people continue to change the landscape of voters just so that you can get more Democrats or Republicans in office to keep power. It should be evenly divided, and then leave it the hell alone and make it illegal for you to continue trying to move it around. If you want somebody to be in that particular area, buy them a house. But just moving the line every when you feel like it should not be. Growing smarter together, butterfly. Yeah, I mean, we should be. It's a thing where we should be getting smarter together. Because that's the process. If you in your community of poor white people, middle class white people, well-off white people, there are things that you necessarily want in life. Y'all all don't want the same things. Like, people think everybody wants to be a billionaire or a multimillionaire. A lot of people don't. They'd be happy with making a few $100,000, if that, and sitting on their farm chilling for the rest of their life, having passive income, doing whatever they want to do, traveling and having a good time. They don't want all those pressures of having to hire 15,000 people and fire 2,000 every month, whatever. They don't want that pressure. People keep on acting like everybody wants to do that. They don't. So in these individual communities, you guys want something different. And each one of you guys can get it. Just stop being greedy. In that poor community, what do you need the most? Give us the top 5. In the middle class community, what do you need the most? Give us the top 5. wealthier class, top 5. It goes for black, Latin, Asian, down the road. Then we can have a consensus that, oh, this neighborhood wants to do this and this. Then we could come to some kind of consensus and say, look, this community should get it and this community should get it. We should be able to do that. But what they do is pit us against each other. No, you can't get a bridge because I want a bridge. Do you need a bridge? No, but I want one because he got one. That's some childish shit. If the bridge in your town is not bad, then don't put that on your list in your community. It's insane to me that people fight over that. What is it? Unfolding, right? Or with health insurance. Yeah, if you want health insurance in your community, then, if there's something about it, then we should be able to give that to you in your community or individual. If we're going to do it for everybody. I think everybody deserves basic health insurance. I mean, just basic, if it's just preventative. Why can't we do that? We can't meet halfway. That's what pisses me off too. You got a group of people who want one thing and the other people want the actual end of it. I'm like, governing is finding the middle. With Republicans, they want to have privatize it because they want to make money. Greed. Then okay. Then why don't we make the base health care free? That's coming in and checkups and stuff of that nature. The additional stuff, that's where we start to pay. That's just like operations and stuff like that. And then we can bring the prices down. Just by offering this, not a lot of people need this. And therefore we can have, a lesser health care insurance. Instead of paying crazy like $800, $1,200 a month, it may be like $150, $250 a month. Because you don't need full, you just need the above basic. Like if you got sick, then that part you're paying for cancer treatments or operation. That you could be paying for. I mean, that's a solution that just came off the top of the dome. But to me, I'm saying, like, why can't these people we're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, adding them all together, millions upon millions of dollars of our government dollars, our tax dollars going to them, and they just want to have a fucking tizzy. I'm like, will y'all come to some fucking agreement? You ain't going to get everything you want. But come to some agreement. Work. How many of y'all can go to y'all job and do a half-ass job and expect to come back and get a paycheck? None of y'all. Don't lie to yourself. Even if you own a spot, you still ain't getting paid because you ain't got enough people buying your products. Even if you do, you got to have employees. You can't go half-ass. You go full. You do everything 100%. They should be too. Safe neighborhoods, finances that actually get. Yo, I got one for y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all one before I go. One that I thought about. That was a good, Tracy. I don't know if y'all understand, and maybe y'all can. And I'll leave this for you guys to tell me next time, whatever. I don't want you to take you all night, but I thought about how America works. And our foundation and our economics and stuff of that nature. And again, if you're an economist, you may know something better than me. But just putting it out there. The way our economy works, our foundation is really built on small businesses. People may think, oh, the big Teslas and no, they're not the ones who keep our economy together. They're just huge. But there's over 300-something million of us. The ones who are employed are mostly employed by small businesses, small to middle-sized businesses. The large businesses do not employ the majority of people in America. So our foundation is built upon the smaller businesses. But I want you to understand something about these larger businesses. They get all these breaks, whether it be tax cuts or whether they get in, grants or loans they don't have to pay back or investments they don't have to pay back. Our tax dollars, because they tell the government that they're going to create 5,000, 10,000 jobs by building this massive space. And they're going to put in, $60 million. All we need from you, government, is like no taxes for the first decade and, $30 million that we don't have to pay back. Our government agrees on that. And these major corporations build whatever. But if it doesn't work out, they don't have to pay it back. Great doing business with you. You tried, brother. You tried. I get you. All right, thank you. I'm sorry, but you don't need to pay us back. Just build something else. Okay, we're going to do that. Give us some more money. That's the structure of how major businesses deal with our government. We're constantly giving them money to create things that most of the times fail. And they never have to pay it back. Nor often they don't have to pay taxes on it forever. Sometimes a decade or so maybe if the business does go. But if the business flops, they don't have to pay it back. The problem with America is if we're built mostly on the small businesses, why are these big businesses getting that deal? You understand that small businesses can go to the SBA and get a $50,000 loan. And if you don't pay that loan back, you can lose your business. Not a $50,000 investment. Not a $50,000 grant. It's a loan, ladies and gentlemen. So how is the government really for the people when you're willing to give $30 million to a billionaire to build something with no regulations that he or she has to do it? And then middle class and poor people trying to lift themselves, trying to get a loan for $50,000 and lose their house and everything and always got to pay it back. Never forgiven. I'm one to say we need to start fighting for these governments, our government rather, Republicans and Democrats, to invest in the people and not the billionaires. The billionaires can afford to pay it back. So they should be getting the loans. No grants, loans. No investments, loans. They need to pay it back. The people should be given these grants, these investments that they don't have to pay back. For one, they're much smaller. For two, it is the fabric and the foundation of America. Small businesses hold us together. So if you invest in what's already holding us together, that's going to create more jobs, more opportunities, and it's going to take people from being poor to middle class, people middle class to being wealthy. And these people down here, they give a fuck about everybody else. It's these people right here don't give a shit about nobody. So if you're going to give the money, give it to people who give a fuck that's going to build something that gives a fuck about the people. Don't give it to people who don't give a fuck about the people. It's our money going to rich people, and they're just flipping us off. And even if it did work, they're giving us crappy jobs. Don't want to pay us $15 an hour, minimum wage, and taking $30 million of our tax dollars. It's insane. It's disrespectful. And I think what will work is if the people decide to say to them, no more. I see what you're doing. It can't be done anymore. And what we speak into existence shall happen. That's the way I look at it. But I want to thank you guys for being here. Show, and thanks for keeping it real. Most definitely, Queen Tracy. I got to get up out of here and get something to eat. But I thank you guys for being here. You've watched Straight Facts, No Chaser. You know, F your feelings. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Something to think about. And if I didn't get to you, of course, it's kind of hard for me to look at both sides. I'm sorry, but my members, thank you very much. I got a video I got to make for you guys. And if you're not a member, become one today. If you're not following me right now or subscribing to me right now, please subscribe to the channel. More videos will come out. I do Straight Facts, No Chaser, and Trump Whisperer Translating Stupid. So I'll see you guys next time. You guys be safe. You have a great week. On TikTok, I do a music show. If you like music, I am on there, Mr. Straight Facts. You can look at Straight Facts, No Chaser. And Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we get it in. 2 requests. You get in your 2 requests. Got to get in early. And I play 2 songs that you love. But I play my list, your list, and then I close it out. That's my long show. It's like 5 or 6 hours long. So we do it at Friday nights. I know that's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to many that I won't see until next week. Happy Father's Day to you, and also those mothers out there putting it in and being a mother and a father. Happy Father's Day to you as well. Happy Parent Day, however you want to put that in there. All right, you guys, take it easy. Much love to y'all, and I'll see you when I see you. Stay brilliant.